Welcome to Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support while you go through the divorce process. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst Professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello and welcome to Breaking Ties, Destination Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, Financial Advisor and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst Professional. As many of you know, I've also gone through the divorce process, and so I was going to put together a little bit of an unscripted episode today, and we're going to talk about, kind of what I learned this past summer when I had my kids, and the kids' schedule's different than what it normally would be, say, through the school year and such. And so I want to share a little bit of that. Now, Destination Divorce is designed for those going through the process, so that means you will be right in the thick of things. And so thinking about perhaps, what you did this past summer may not seem relevant, but I think you're going to find that if you give it a little thought and a little reflection, it's going to help propel you when it is time to actually take a look at how it's going to be when you're done through the divorce process. And you will get there. Divorces take different time frames depending on all the complexities that you might have in your situation. But in the end, you're going to get through it. And when you do, you're going to want to have some kind of plan for how to, look back and reflect and set things up for a better, more enjoyable time, whether it's with your kids or yourself during the summer and planning on things. So, for me, the summer is always a little different because I have my kids more. It's almost every other week that I have my kids, which is totally different than the school year when I usually just have dinners with them. And so from that aspect of things, it has a direct impact on work and just day-to-day activities of just running errands and stuff. And so I think one of the things I learned was, trying to get the podcast out, but I'm sure you noticed it wasn't there every day this summer kind of thing. And I had some extended breaks in there, and that's just because it was difficult to get things rolling and get into a flow. And so next summer, hopefully I'll be a little better about that, knowing what I know now. And when it's all said and done though, I don't regret the time I spent with my kids. I feel a little off that I didn't get the podcast done because I actually do enjoy making the podcast and sharing information and helping people. So when I look back, it's just a matter of, okay, what do you think? Was it good, bad, or indifferent? And it doesn't have to be anything. It could really just be what it was. But looking back, I like how the summer went. My boys and I do a lot of disc golfing. We were hitting many disc golf courses, which was fantastic, a lot of new ones. So we had a lot of fun, and I appreciate the time that I have with them in that regards. Work-wise, work is work. It keeps going and still taking care of clients and still doing all the things. Sometimes pieces like this get a little bit, set aside because it does take a lot of time to put a podcast together and edit it and all that. And so sometimes, some of the marketing stuff might not quite get to where you want it to be, and that's okay. But I think the main point I'm trying to hit here is you got to be flexible. You might have to make some adjustments. You might have to just understand that, hey, there's only so much you can do in a day. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. And once you become okay with some of that, then you'll be able to focus on what's important to you. And to me, my kids are very important, and I'm sure your kids are very important to you as well. It's not always easy. It's not always going to be the smoothest, but with a little forethought and a little thinking, you can make it, what you want it to be. You can shape it how you want it to be over the course of, say, the summer or even a winter break or any other of those times where the transitions are just different for your kid's schedule or your just work schedule or your schedule in general. So you want to take some time just to, keep an eye on things and see if there's anything you need to do a little different. That's all I got for this episode of Breaking Ties is Divorce the Answer. I say it all the time, but if you have questions, you need help, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help you guys. The goal here with this podcast is really to help things go a little smoother for you than it did for me. And And that requires you to reach out if you need to. Remember, divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, take care.